Hello everyone, myself Bhagyadev Kalal from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today I will discuss a vapor compression refrigeration system, part 3, lecture number 10. Basically, this lecture is based on numerical only, which theory we already discussed in previous two lectures, part number 1 and part number 2, lecture number 8 and 9. So today we discuss numerical based on that topic. If that topic is completely clear, then we can solve these numericals. Okay, so start from first problem based on this simple VCRS cycle. Okay, problem is here is like an ammonia vapor compression refrigeration system produce 10 ton of ice from and at 0 degree in a day. Okay, how much amount of ice is produced? That is a 10 ton of ice. That is a mass of ice is given. That is ton 10 ton. 1 ton is equals to 1000 kg and 10 ton is equals to 10,000 kg. At 0 degree, the temperature of ice is 0 degree. From at 0 degree, water at 0 degree, and form ice at 0 degree. That means concept of totally latent heat, because phase change is done on a constant temperature, that is a 0 degree. That is liquid or water converted into ice at a 0 degree. That means latent heat comes in a pictures in a day, or say that in a day, in 24 hours. Okay, ice formation in 24 hours. This statement is clear. Next, the system is operating between pressure limits 2.9 bar and 12.3 bar. That is the two pressure, the high pressure limit and low pressure. Low pressure is evaporator side, or high pressure is condenser side. Okay, that means 12.3 is after compression, 2.9 is before compression pressure of refrigerant. The ammonia vapor is dry and saturated at the end of compression. That is the main line of this numerical is this one. The ammonia vapor is dry saturated at the end of compression. End of compression, that means point number 2. The condition is point number 2. That means this is the case number 1 according to lecture number 9, which I discussed. That is a case number 1. Calculate mass flow rate of refrigerant in the cycle. Okay, and next, power required to drive the compressor. That means power of compressor or work of compressor. And assumes actual COP of system is 60% of idle. So first of all, we calculate the ideal COP and then multiply with 0.6. Then we calculate COP of actual. Some data is given for ice, that is latent heat 330. For water, CP is 4.187 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Use following properties of ammonia. That it is given table for ammonia. For ammonia, if it is not given, then this data taken from a refrigeration table. One table in the exam already given, that is a refrigeration table. If this value for this table is not given for this numerical, that means corresponding to this pressure, we get a data from a refrigeration table, which is given in the exam. Okay, so all the data corresponding to 2.9 bar pressure and 12.3 bar pressure. So saturated temperature minus 10 degree, that means evaporator side, which we our required. Okay, and 12.3 is a pressure, that is a 32 degree temperature. Specific enthalpy of liquid corresponding to minus 10 degree, that is 154, 1450.7.8. There is a specific enthalpy. There is a entropy that is denoted by S. And this is denoted by H. Okay. If it is liquid, that is known as HF. Okay. If it is vapor, that is known as Hg. G for gas or vapor is similar like at S, F, and this is a Sg. Everybody remember this data. Liquid as a F represented by HF enthalpy, and vapor that is represented by Hg. And for entropy, SF liquid and Sg for vapor. Now draw first of all pH diagram or TS diagram for calculation. We draw a pH diagram. There is a low pressure side and there is a high pressure side. Two pressure lines P and this is a 12.3 bar and 2.9 bar. Okay, so corresponding to table, we write the data. If point lies on the saturated liquid or saturated vapor line, so automatically we got a data from table. That means at point 2 and point 3, these values are in the table already, because these 2 points lies on the saturated liquid and vapor line. And if we know the enthalpy of 3, H3 equals to HF, H3 equals to H4, because H3 to 4 is the isenthalpic process. So minus 10 degree, there is a low pressure side. Okay, HF1, it is a 154, Hg, it is a 1450, SF1 and Hg. Okay. Corresponding to 32 degree, this all the data. Okay, first we know the data, which data corresponding to which value. Okay, next for isentropic compression 1 to 2, that is S1 is equals to H, S2, S1 equals to H2. For S1, SF1 plus X1, SG1 minus SF1. This formula already we explained in the lecture number 9. Okay, so put all the values corresponding to this and calculate X1. What is X1? X1 is a dryness fraction of the system. Dryness fraction of the compression at inlet. X1 0.893. Now, with the help of this dryness fraction, we calculate the enthalpy at 0.1. H1 is equals to HF1 plus X1, Hg1, HF1. All the values taken from the table, okay, and calculate the H1. That is a 1314.99 kilojoule per kg. So what is RE? RE is H1 minus H4. That is 963.55 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Now refrigeration capacity. How much refrigeration capacity? Is mass of ice produced into latent heat, because 10 ton ice per day. So we calculate the total refrigeration capacity of plant with the help of how much ice is produced per day. So mass of ice produced is 10 ton in kg, that is 10 into 10 raised to 3, and latent heat 333, and in a day, again say in per day, that is 24 into 3600, because converted into kilojoule per second. Kilojoule per second, and joule per second is also watt. That means the capacity of this system is 38.54 kilowatt heat is absorbed, okay, in a day. So that Q is equals to, we calculate the Q. So by comparing this equation, and we calculate the mass of refrigerant flow. That means we calculate 2.399 kilos to kg per minute. So per minute, this much amount of refrigerant flow in the cycle. Okay. Now theoretical COP is what? H1 minus H4, H2 minus H1. We already know. Okay. So put the value and we got the COP of the system, that is a 5.598. Okay. So actual COP in numerical, given that the actual COP is equals to 60% of ideal COP. So put the value and we got 3.358 actual COP of the system. Now, if actual COP is known and refrigeration capacity is known, so we calculate the actual power required for compressor. So 38.54, that is the actual refrigeration capacity. Okay, and actual COP is 3.59. So power is 11.49 kilowatt. And this is the first numerical. Okay. Now numerical number 2. In 15 TR, that means 15 ton ammonia refrigerant plant, there is a refrigeration capacity is given. The condensing temperature is 250, not is 250, that is 25 degrees centigrade, and evaporative temperature is not 100, that is a minus 10 degree, minus, and which is already in a table. The refrigerant ammonia is subcooled by 50 centigrade, not 50, that is a 5 degrees, some mistakes. It is a 25 degrees centigrade, it is 10 degrees and minus 10 degrees centigrade, it is 5 degree. The subcooling is 5 degree before passing through the throttle bar. That means this numerical is subcooled. If subcooled is occur, that means superheated region also occurs. That means point 2 lies outside the saturated vapor line. Right. Again, say that the vapor leaving the evaporator is 0.97. Right. There is a X value. Vapor leaving the evaporator. Leaving the evaporator means inlet of the compressor. Inlet of compressor, that is point number 1. That means X1 is given, that is a 0.97. Okay. Find the COP power required, and the table for the ammonia refrigerant is given. Corresponding enthalpy, entropy, and specific heat, there is a CP V 2.8 and CPL for liquid is 4.6. So first of all, that if we draw the TS diagram of the system, So numerical says that key subcooling process. So we denote subcooling process here, 3 to 3 days subcooling. And 1 dryness fraction 1 is given, that is 0.9. That means 1 point lies inside the dome. So if 1 is lies inside dome, and if we draw the straight line, automatically 2 point lies outside the saturated vapor line. So 2 to 2 days, again superheating, degree of superheating, and 2 to 2 days to 3, there is a constant temperature or constant pressure, latent heat rejection here, and 3 to 3 subcooling process, and 3 to 4, 3 days to 4 is isenthalpic process. Okay. Which point we have already known, there is a enthalpy at 3 point, enthalpy at 2 days point, which is already corresponding to 25 degree, corresponding to 25 degree. Enthalpy at this is 229, that is a H3, vapor 1465, that is a H2. Okay, HF, Hg2, also we say Hg2. Upper temperature size is represented by 2, or lower side is represented by 1. Hg2, HF2. Okay, now, and entropy corresponding this one. Now, corresponding to minus 10 degree, data is here. Now, HF, Hg, SF, Sg corresponding to minus 10 degree. Okay. Now calculate entropy at point 1. That is, use this formula. With the all value, we calculate the S1 because X1 is known, dryness fraction at point 1, so S1 is known. Now enthalpy at point 1, with the help of, if we know the S1, enthalpy at point 1, we calculate H1, that is a 1394.12. At 25 degree, all the data are given, be taken from a table. At 25 degree, this data taken from the table which is given in the numerical. Now entropy at point 2. Entropy at point 2 is Sg2. Up to Sg2 plus this much amount is more added because point 2 is lies outside the saturated vapor. That's why we calculate S2. So we know S1 is equals to S2 because isentropic process 1 to 2. So we calculate T2, temperature T2, that is a 330.5 Kelvin. Okay, so with the help of this T2, we calculate the enthalpy at point 2, that is H2 is equals to Hg2 plus Cp T2 minus T2 days. Now enthalpy comes, that is 1468.94, that is the enthalpy at point 2. Now enthalpy of at 0.3 days, that is the subcooling process. So H3 is HF3 minus is what? Because enthalpy is less than saturated liquid line. That's why we put minus Cp, specific enthalpy of liquid because it's a liquid phase. That's why we use the specific heat is of liquid at 20 corresponding 25 degree. So now H3 is comes 275.9 kilojoule per kg. So enthalpy at point 4 is H4 is equals to H3 because H3 known. The H3 if it is known, then H4 is equals to H3 because H3 to 4 process is isenthalpic process and expansion. This is the expansion. Next, if we know all the enthalpies at points, so we calculate mass of refrigerant, that is total capacity, that is 15 ton is given in the numerical. So put value 15 into 3.5 converted into kilowatt. So that's why we multiply 3.5 divided by H1 minus H4, we got 0.0469 kg per second. This much of amount per kg required to circulate in the cycle to obtain 15 ton capacity of plant. Next, power required so much. That's next power required for the compressor for that 15 TR capacity is M into H2 minus H. When we got 3.51 kilowatt power compressor. So 3.5 kilowatt compressor is required. So next, COP of the system is 3.5 into Q. Q is 15 TR, 3.5 into converted in kilowatt, and divided by the power of compressor, which is already given. It is a 14.94. So numerical number 2 is done. Next, numerical number 3. A refrigerant R12 vapor compression system has saturated suction temperature -5 degree. This is your pH chart corresponding to this refrigerant. For different refrigerant, chart is different. There is a R12 already written. So -5 degree is a suction temperature, that is a lower side temperature, and saturated discharge, that is a after compression, that is a 40 degree. Cycle is 40 degree between and -5 degree. Okay. So refrigerant vapor is dry saturated at the compressor and becomes superheated after compression. The condition is given: the refrigerant vapor is dry saturated at the suction. That means point 1 lies on the saturated vapor line and point 2 outside the saturated vapor line. Now, for 1 TR, 1 ton refrigerant capacity, that means refrigerant capacity is given. That means Q is given, that is 1 TR is equals to 1 TR is given, that is equals to 3.5 kilowatt is given. So calculate refrigeration effect, mass flow rate, power, and COP of the system. So first of all, draw here no table is given. Okay, so only by using of chart we calculate all the enthalpy. First of all, draw the pH chart corresponding -5 degree. Here these lines are pressure lines, okay, and temperature lines are here. If this is temperature lines, okay, -5 degree, this is 10 -10, and this is 10 degree. This line, okay. This line is -5 degree line here. This one is a -5 degree, and 40 degree. This is a 40 degree. Draw two temperature line and locate first refrigerant at inlet of compressor is dry saturated vapor. That means point 1 lies on the saturated liquid line. That is first of all point number 1. Okay, and how to locate point number 2? Draw a line parallel to this entropy line. This one is the entropy line. All are the entropy line. Lies from the roller scale. Draw this line parallel to this entropy line from point 1. So we get point number 2. So we get or obtain point number 2 and point number 1. And 3 point automatically it is on the saturated vapor and draw a straight line. So point number 4. So corresponding to this, H2 is obtained, H1 is obtained. Here y-axis is enthalpy and this is one is a pressure line. And 3 or 4 are same because isenthalpic process, so H3 and H4 are obtained. So from this chart, we obtain all the values. What is this values? H1 is 351, H2 is 376, H3, H4 is 241. Both are the equal because isenthalpic process. Now calculate refrigeration effect per kg of refrigerant. That is RE H1 minus H4, 351 minus 240. That is a 111 kilojoule per kg. Kilojoule per. Next, mass flow rate of refrigerant. Q is equals to M H1 minus H1. We know the capacity of the plant. There is 1 TR. For 1 TR, mass of refrigerant calculate. That is a 1.89 kg per minute. That means in the cycle, approximate 1.89 kg per minute refrigerant flow. Okay. Next, power P is equals to M H2 minus H1. If mass is known, that we use the formula multiply mass. M is H2 minus H1. That is 0.787 kilowatt for 1 TR. And COP is equals to 3.52 divided by P. That is a 4.76. We also use this formula H1 minus H4 divided by H2 minus H1. Okay, so final level is again same 4.769. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching my this video.